Aaron's canary was throwing a little tantrum again. He handed me the divorce agreement. Sign it, just for show, to comfort the little girl. After a moment of silence, I picked up the pen and neatly signed my name. As I was leaving, I heard his friend teasing, "Sister-in-law is too obedient, wouldn't she do anything you ask without a word?" Aaron leisurely lit a cigarette. "Want to see?" They all chimed in, wanting to see at the divorce registration office in 20 days, even if I cried my eyes out, I would still obediently agree to separate. The moment the marriage certificate was replaced with a divorce certificate, I picked up my phone and replied to the message I had just received, "Will you marry me?" "Yes." When I pushed the door open, Aaron was sitting in the middle of the bar, surrounded by his friends. When he saw me, he immediately showed a gentle smile and waved at me. "Evelyn, come over here." I walked over, and he affectionately put his arm around my shoulder, his tone as gentle as ever. "There's something I need your help with." He pushed a document in front of me. The divorce agreement. My fingers subconsciously tightened, grabbing my skirt hem. Aaron noticed my stiffness, gently patted my back, softened his voice even more, with a coaxing tone, "Don't be nervous, it's just a formality." He leaned close to my ear and whispered, "Vivian has been making a fuss lately, insisting on a title to feel secure. Just sign it first, for show, to comfort the little girl." He picked up his glass and took a sip, his demeanor as relaxed as discussing the weather. "Once her emotions stabilize, this matter will pass. You know, you're my real wife, those women outside are just for fun, not presentable." Seeing that I didn't move immediately, a barely noticeable anxiety flashed in his eyes, but his tone remained gentle. "Evelyn, you're the most sensible. Just sign it, okay?" This Vivian indeed had some tricks. I heard that when Aaron first pursued her by throwing resources at her, she didn't even bat an eyelid. Instead, she mocked him for having nothing but money power. It was this seemingly aloof posture that made Aaron feel she was different, unlike those flocking around money. Later, when she discovered Aaron was married, she immediately put on a steadfast stance. With tears streaming down her face, she said to Aaron, "Aaron, I admit I have feelings for you, but the education I've received from childhood to adulthood absolutely does not allow me to interfere in someone else's marriage and become a despised third party. Let's just end it here, don't meet again." But while saying resolute words, she revealed just the right amount of vulnerability, dependence, and reluctance. She didn't truly leave the luxurious life circle Aaron provided, instead, she kept a tantalizing distance. This made Aaron, who was already interested in her, itch with desire. She was well versed in the principles of what you can't get is always in turmoil and advancing by retreating. Aaron obviously fell for this. I looked at his handsome face. In those eyes that once made me sink, there was now only carefully disguised warmth. His calculations fearing I might regret or complications arise. The already barren place in my heart lost its last bit of warmth. I couldn't even feel the pain, only numbness. "Okay." I heard my calm, unwavering voice. The moment I picked up the pen, Aaron seemed to sigh in relief and added, "Good girl, once this storm passes, we'll remarry. At that time I'll hold an even grander wedding for you, inviting all the city's elites. And last time's honeymoon, didn't you think it was rushed? This time, pick any place, for as long as you want, I'll accompany you throughout, how about that? And you've always wanted to go to the Maldives, we'll make up for it this honeymoon, just the two of us." He depicted a future that would never happen, his tone sincere enough to almost deceive himself. I didn't respond, just lowered my head and signed my name on the agreement. The handwriting was neat, without the slightest tremor. Just as I put down the pen, his friend Jay laughed. "Aaron, sister-in-law is really giving you face, huh? This works? Wouldn't she do anything you ask without a word?" Aaron leisurely leaned back in his chair, lit a cigarette, the exhaled smoke blurring his slightly smug expression. He glanced at Jay, his tone carrying a casual defense, more like boasting his absolute control. "TSK, how are you talking? No respect. Your sister-in-law understands reason and the big picture, what do you know?" Jay immediately raised his hands in surrender, but his face still had that cheeky grin. just kidding, sister-in-law is so magnanimous, would she really haggle over this with me? He turned to me, still with a cheeky smile, right, sister-in-law? We've known each other for so many years, don't you know what kind of person I am? Aaron took a puff, then pointed at Jay with the finger holding the cigarette, his tone neither light nor heavy. All right, apologize to your sister-in-law. Jay immediately turned to me, dragging out his tone with a sleazy accent, as ordered. Sister-in-law, sorry. Little brother here has a loose mouth, you're generous, don't stoop to my level. I watched them harmonizing, watched Aaron's everything under control look behind the smoke. The dead silent ice lake in my heart didn't even ripple. I didn't respond to Jay's insincere apology, didn't even look at Aaron. I just gently pushed the signed agreement in front of Aaron, picked up my handbag, and softly said, I'm going back first. Aaron seemed very satisfied with my sensible reaction, nodded, I might not come back for dinner tonight, no need to wait for me. Without pausing, I turned and left this bar area filled with smoke, alcohol, and hypocritical laughter. Behind me was their renewed, lowered chatter. Seriously, Aaron, sister-in-law is too submissive, right? Signs the divorce agreement just like that, without batting an eye. Wouldn't she do anything you ask, go east and never west? Then Aaron's leisurely voice, slightly hoarse from inhaling smoke, with a smugness of having everything in hand. What, jealous? Jealous? Where do you find such an obedient wife? Jay laughed strangely, but sister-in-law's reaction is calmly scary. Signed so readily? Couldn't be, holding back a big move, right? Aaron chuckled lightly, with disdain. What big move could she hold? You've watched too many movies. That's not certain. Jay seemed to suddenly get inspired, raising his voice. A woman's heart is like a needle at the bottom of the sea. Aaron, how about, we make a bet? Bet on whether sister-in-law will show up on time at the Civil Affairs Bureau in 20 days to get the divorce certificate with you. Bet? Aaron seemed to find it interesting. Yes. I bet she won't go. Or even if she does, she'll make some noise. Impossible to divorce so quietly. Jay shouted, what's the stake? Car? Watch. Or bet your new Patek Philippe. How about it? Another friend nearby jeered, Jay, you're ruthless, been eyeing Aaron's watch for a long time, huh? Aaron was silent for a few seconds, seeming to consider. Then, I heard the lighter ignite, and Aaron's confident, mocking voice, all right. Bet then. But you're sure to lose. His voice was drawling, each word pounding on my eardrum. I bet you, in 20 days, at exactly 9 in the morning, she'll appear on time at the registration office, dressed appropriately, hair and makeup impeccable. He paused, as if depicting a script already written. Even if she's reluctant, she'll still quietly sign like today, without a single extra word. Jay, you don't understand her at all. Betting with me, you're definitely losing. Damn. Aaron, you're so confident? Then it's settled. That watch of yours, I've reserved it. Jay exclaimed excitedly, others laughing along, as if discussing something unrelated to the parties involved, extremely amusing. The door gently closed behind me, isolating the more specific bets and even more unbearable laughter. The corridor was quiet, only the sound of my high heels clicking on the floor. I walked step by step to the elevator, my mind full of Aaron's mocking tone. At this moment, my phone vibrated. I took it out, the screen lit up. It was a number not saved but already etched in my mind. The message was simply abrupt, yet heavy enough to make my fingertips tremble. Evelyn, I know it's inappropriate to say this now. But if you're willing, marry me, okay? Not for alliance, not for deal, just me, begging you, give me a chance to take care of you. I've waited too long. The sender was Julian, Aaron's biggest rival. I stood on the street, watching the endless stream of car lights, like flowing rivers of light. Then, I raised my hand, calmly typed one word in the reply box, okay. Click send. The success prompt had just disappeared less than 5 seconds when my phone vibrated violently. Julian's number jumped on the screen. I answered the call. From the other end came his forcefully restrained yet still rapid breathing. Julian was silent for 2 seconds before asking in disbelief, "Evelyn, the message, is it what I think it means? You, really willing?" "Yes." My voice was calm, "I'm willing to marry you." I heard him sharply inhale, as if finally confirming it wasn't a hallucination. His voice carried uncontrollable excitement, even trembling. "Really, really? I'm not dreaming." He quickly forced himself to calm down, his tone becoming solemn and cautious. "Then now, do you want to move out first? I can arrange a place immediately, absolutely quiet and safe, no one will disturb you." I agreed almost without hesitation. That so-called home, staying one more second felt suffocating. "Okay," I said. "I'll arrange people and car right away, wait downstairs for you." "How long do you need?" "An hour." "Okay, see you in an hour." Evelyn. When I got home, the entrance light was on, but the air was filled with strong alcohol smell. In the living room, Vivian was struggling to support the dead-drunk Aaron, trying to move him to the sofa. Aaron was almost entirely leaning on her, mumbling incoherently. Seeing me return, Vivian not only didn't restrain herself but pressed her body even closer to Aaron. She raised her chin, her tone with obvious provocation. "Yo, who did I think it was? Turns out it's Mrs. Evelyn. Coming back so late, seems Mrs. Evelyn doesn't care much about Aaron. But, you and Aaron are already divorced, this isn't your home anymore, please leave." She deliberately emphasized Mrs. Evelyn, her eyes full of contempt, looking me up and down. "Tisk, seems age makes a difference, can't even take care of your own husband." Aaron drunkenly raised his head, squinted at me. Then waved at Vivian, his tone with a bit of impatient defense. "Vivian, say less." His words were weak, more like habitual perfunctory. Vivian immediately pouted, pushed Aaron hard, her voice with a cry, "You're scolding me. Aaron, you're scolding me for this old hag." "I don't care, make her leave. I don't want to see her now." Aaron swayed from the push, his drunken eyes hazily looking at me. His face was full of fatigue and impatience, as if eager to escape this troublesome situation. He waved his hand, his tone vague and perfunctory. "Evelyn, you, go pack your things first." He burped, almost collapsing on Vivian, and vaguely added, "Once packed, just leave, stay at a hotel tonight." Vivian smugly glanced at me, like a victorious peacock, her whole body clinging to Aaron, cooing, "That's more like it." Aaron drunkenly laughed, his arms tightly hugging Vivian's waist, burying his face in her neck and rubbing. His exhaled hot breath carried heavy alcohol. "Baby, now, you should be satisfied, right?" His hands wandered improperly on Vivian's back, his voice sticky as he asked, "Then, when will you make me satisfied too?" "I've divorced for you, you have to show something." As he spoke, he leaned in to kiss her neck, his hands randomly stroking her back. Vivian immediately pouted, poking Aaron's chest with her finger, cooing in complaint, "You still say that? Just now you were protecting her, scolding me. Now you have the nerve to ask for a show?" She deliberately twisted her body, pretending to be angry, but her eyes secretly observed Aaron's reaction. Aaron quickly smiled apologetically, his hands restlessly wandering on her inner thighs. "How was I protecting her? Wasn't I afraid you'd anger yourself? How can she compare to you? You're young and beautiful, she's just a clueless log, long past her prime." Under Aaron's sweet words and groping, Vivian turned anger to joy, giggling. The two embraced on the sofa. Aaron's breathing obviously became heavy. He leaned to Vivian's ear, whispering in a voice with alcohol and desire, unabashed, "Baby, ignore her, she signed the divorce agreement, I have no relation with her anymore." His hand improperly probed into Vivian's collar, his tone full of implication. "Tonight, don't leave, Give yourself to me, okay? Just us two, let me compensate you well, Vivian coquettishly hammered his chest, her voice soft and charming. "Hate your mind is full of these. I'm not ready yet." Her lips murmured refusal, yet her body went limp as if devoid of bones, pressing even closer to Aaron as she offered her red lips. Aaron chuckled triumphantly, unable to wait any longer as he leaned in to kiss her. Instantly, they became entangled on the sofa, their movements growing more intense and accompanied by sounds that made one blush. Carrying my luggage, expressionless, I walked past the entangled two, straight to the door. Behind came Vivian's coquettish voice, with deliberate show-off, "Aaron, then tomorrow morning you have to go with her to get the divorce certificate, no delaying." Aaron pressed on Vivian, breathing heavily, hands non-stop, without thinking, vaguely agreeing, okay, go tomorrow, all up to you." Getting the affirmative, Vivian became even more smug. She turned her head, over Aaron's shoulder, casting a victor's gaze at me, then with a sickeningly sweet voice asked, "Then tell me, between me and her, who do you like more?" Her hands restlessly wandered on Aaron, like more, being with whom? Aaron, teased to lose reason, eagerly tugging her collar, slurring, "Of course you." "Then say it clearly." Vivian's fingers circled on his chest, "Is it me who makes you happier, or her?" "Of course you, little vixen." Aaron's hand already probed under her skirt. Expressionless, I walked past them. Vivian deliberately raised her volume. "Aaron, don't mess, your wife is here." Aaron randomly promised, "Divorce tomorrow, after that this house is yours, you'll be my wife." I opened the door. Julian's car was parked roadside. He saw me, immediately got out and came over. "Evelyn, I bought your favorite chestnut cake, still hot." He handed a paper bag, eyes with cautious expectation. "Thanks," I said. I got in the car. He carefully raised the AC temperature. After starting the car, he kept finding topics. "That sweet soup shop you loved as a kid is still open. Tomorrow I'll take you to try, okay?" "Right, my friend's ragdoll just had a litter. If you want a cat I can adopt one." I interrupted his chatter. "Julian, I agreed to marry on impulse." My voice was calm. "I don't love you." His hands on the steering wheel tightened suddenly, his smile froze. After a while, he dry laughed twice. "It's okay, I know you're in a bad mood now. We can take it slow." He paused, voice very light. "I can wait." "For however long?" The car fell into suffocating silence. Only the faint AC hum, and my almost inaudible breathing. I turned my head, watching the rapidly receding neon lights outside, those blurred lights seeming to take me back to the distant past. I remembered my past with Aaron. Aaron and I were true childhood sweethearts. Our families were old friends, parents both business partners and friends. From as far as I can remember, he was in my world. As a child, I always followed him like a little tail, calling brother Aaron non-stop. He would complain I'm troublesome while saving the best candy in his pocket for me. At 13, he held my hand under the old locust tree in our backyards, solemnly saying, "Evelyn, when you grow up, I'll definitely marry you." The boy's eyes were bright, tone unprecedentedly serious. Fate turned at 18. Aaron's parents both died in an accident. The funeral day was rainy. He wore an ill-fitting black suit, his originally straight shoulders slumped. After all condolence guests left, he was like an abandoned child. In the empty morning hall, he hugged me tightly, buried his face in my neck, crying and shaking. He choked, begging, "Evelyn, I only have you, promise me, never leave me, okay?" I hugged him back hard, heart aching, repeating, "I promise, brother Aaron, I'll always be with you." After that, my parents and I accompanied him through the darkest years. My father used all resources to stabilize his company. Aaron turned all grief into work motivation. Years later, the Sioux group thrived under his leadership. The night he regained company control, he knelt on one knee before me, eyes red. "Evelyn, I did it. Without you, without the Sioux family, no today for me. Marry me, okay?" I nodded with tears. Our wedding was extremely luxurious. His hand shook putting on the ring, saying, "Wife, I finally give you the best." 2 years after marriage, we had sweet times. But gradually, he got busier, starting to stay out all night. At first I'd ask, he always tiredly, "I'm busy, have socials, sleep first, be good." If I asked more, he'd frown, "Why are you so insensible?" If I don't work, how to give you a good life? After marriage, my parents went abroad for research. To not worry them, on calls I always reported good news, not bad. I said I'm fine, Aaron is good to me. Let them not worry, I'm happy. Once like this, twice. Over time even I started to wonder if it was really fine, happy as I said. I even started brainwashing myself, telling myself marriage is like this, I'm too sensitive, demanding too much. So, I doubted if I was not considerate enough. I learned not to ask his whereabouts, tried to be a sensible wife. Occasionally home, seeing everything orderly, he'd pat my head satisfied, say my wife is the most obedient. I got used to this mode, even self-hypnotized, telling myself he was indeed working for the family. But later, rumors reached my ears about different women around him. I confronted him with photos, he always explained, all just for show, business social needs. Evelyn, you're my only wife, trust me. Looking at his sincere eyes, I chose self-deception. I became more silent, tried harder to play the obedient role he wanted. Gradually, I seemed to lose myself. Evelyn? Julian's voice pulled me back from memories. The car stopped downstairs the apartment. He looked at me, eyes with cautious concern, we're here. I simply decorated the room, he said, exiting the elevator, opening the door, see if you like it. I entered the living room, found the decor was my preferred minimalist style. He carried luggage to the master bedroom, pushed open, this room for you. I suddenly turned to him, Julian, why do you like me? We're not even familiar. He obviously stunned, hand on doorknob tightened. After seconds, he spoke softly, 3 years ago, at Sue Group's anniversary, you spoke as hostess. A competitor deliberately made trouble, asked a sharp question. His gaze became distant, everyone waited for a joke, but you not only answered fluently, but cleverly threw the question back. That moment, the light in your eyes. He paused, voice low, later I specially found all your published articles. Evelyn, I like not Mrs. Sue, but that shining you on stage. After saying this, he pointed to corridor end, I live next door. Tonight I won't leave, call anytime. He gave me his number, confirmed I saved, turned to leave. Door closed lightly. I stood there. First time realizing, in these years Aaron made me learn obedient, someone remembered my original shining self. Next morning 8:30, Julian's car waited downstairs. He opened car door for me, expression grave, I'll take you there. No need. I held the door, I can myself. He frowned slightly, wanted to say something. But seeing my calm eyes, finally nodded, okay, call me after. I took a taxi alone. In rear view, Julian's figure stood until turn disappeared. When I arrived, Aaron was there, in sharp suit, but eyes with some fatigue. Seeing me, he quickly came, face with just right apology. Evelyn, he sighed, tone helpless, last night, I'm sorry. I drank too much, was out of line. He frowned slightly, as recalling unpleasant, that girl Vivian, lately always temper tantrums. I softened momentarily, coaxed a few more words. Observing my expression, seeing I silent, continued explaining, you know, girls like her, young and ignorant. If I don't go along a bit, who knows what joke she'll make. His tone with obvious impatience, as discussing a childish kid. And you know, I'm just temporarily fresh with her, women like that, not presentable. Once this passes, I'll naturally clean it up, won't let her bother you. He looked at me, eyes sincere, Evelyn, you're always the most magnanimous, understand my situation best. Once I handle these trifles, we'll remarry, then I'll take you to make up honeymoon, compensate you well, okay? Saying this, as if arranging ordinary business. He was certain I'd understand, except, like countless times past, silently wait for him to handle outside trifles. I raised my head, calmly looked at him, it's okay, I understand. Aaron, obviously relieved, showed gratified smile, you're still sensible. He habitually reached out, wanting to pat my head like before. I slightly sidestepped, avoiding his hand, gazed to civil affairs door, it's getting late, go in for procedures. Aaron's hand froze midair, smile paused, but quickly natural again. He nodded, tone light, okay, as you say. After getting certificate out, Aaron's phone rang. He glanced at caller ID, face immediately doting smile. Answering, tone unusually gentle, done, little ancestor. From other end, Vivian's coquettish voice faintly, then how will you reward me? Aaron low laughed, eye corners wrinkled, didn't satisfy you last night? He said while glancing at me, good, tonight take you by bag. I lowered head looking at Julian's message, done? Fingers lightly replied, I'll pick you up. No need. Ear heard Aaron's smiling coax, miss me? Tonight accompany you well, hang up first. We walked out civil affairs door one after another. Before steps, he stopped, took phone operated a bit. Evelyn, tone gentle, with deliberate compensation, I transferred you some money, go out relax, buy what you like. He paused, as remembering, added, Europe or Maldives are good, go relax for a while. I lowered head checked phone, bank deposit message amount indeed astonishing. Aaron observed my reaction, continued in negotiating tone, you know, Vivian sighed. I still need time to deal lately. He slightly frowned, showed just right helplessness, once this freshness passes, I'll handle properly. He stepped half forward, voice lowered, like solemn promise, when you return from travel, I'll definitely resolve this thoroughly. I calmly nodded, gaze over his shoulder to distance, got it. Aaron seemed relieved, showed satisfied look. He probably thought I was still that Evelyn who obeys with a sweetener. Then I'm leaving first, I said lightly, without waiting response, turned to roadside waiting taxi. My divorce with Aaron ultimately couldn't be hidden from parents. On phone, mother's voice with suppressed anger and heartache, Evelyn, such big thing, why didn't you tell us? Silly child, why not tell family when wronged? Dad heartache aside, your mom and I return tomorrow. We're abroad, not dead. Aaron dares bully my baby girl thinking Cheen family has no one? Next day, parents took long leave, flew back from abroad lab. Mother held my hand nonstop tears, father silently sat aside, brows furrowed. When doorbell rang, I opened, found Julian outside, carrying light meals. Uncle aunt just back, probably not eaten yet. Tone natural, slightly bowed to my parents, heard you two back, I come see if can help. Mother wiped tears, forced smile, Julian, trouble you. Should. Julian softly said, put meals on table, then quietly sat on corner sofa, minimizing presence. Parents' first thing back was to find Aaron for justice. Always gentle father, in Aaron's office, before several executives, scolded him head down. Father heartbroken questioned if he remembered after his parents died, who helped fully. Remembered how he swore before me to be good lifetime. Mother bluntly said he ungrateful, character flawed. Dad. Uncle Thomas, Aaron difficultly spoke, voice dry, this I can explain. Shut up. Father sharply interrupted, voice trembling anger, what to explain? I watched you grow, treated as own son, this how you repay Cheen family? Aaron lowered head, hands clenched fists, knuckles white. He opened mouth, ultimately silent. Mother red-eyed, voice choked, Aaron, you disappoint us too much. How Evelyn treated you these years, you know. Father deep breath, walked to Aaron. His gaze torch-like, staring this young man he once hoped highly. Suddenly, raised hand, slapped Aaron hard. Crisp slap sound extra piercing in office. Aaron's face turned aside, face instantly red palm print. He froze, dare not move. This slap, for Evelyn. Father's voice cold, from now on, Cheen and Sue families sever ties. After leaving Sue, father directly announced terminate all tech cooperation and licenses with Sue. This decision caught Aaron off guard. Company instantly faced huge tech gap and potential breach risks, heavy losses, stock prices falling. While Aaron overwhelmed, Vivian somehow heard Sue business setback, rushed like crazy to my villa door. Harsh doorbell and sharp curses from carved iron door, Evelyn. Come out. You venomous woman. Is it your doing? Father Ashen wanted to call security, Mother held my hand. Evelyn, don't go, let Butler handle. Julian already picked intercom, need me notify security? No need. I gently pressed Julian's hand, my matter, I handle. I pushed open Villa door, Vivian grabbing iron bars cursing. Seeing me, she immediately shrill laughed, finally dare come out? Withered abandoned woman. Without Aaron what are you? Waste can't even keep a man. I signaled security open iron door, calmly walked to her, done? She angered by my calm, red-nailed finger almost poked my face, pretend what aloof. You have nothing now. Nothing? I lightly laughed surveying own estate, look where you stand, this is Chin ancestral home, just this land worth half Sioux group. I stepped forward, watching her paling face, without Aaron, I'm still Chin's sole heir. Moreover, these years youngest top jewelry designer domestically and abroad, with or without Aaron I'm Evelyn. She spat pointing at me, what top jewelry designer? Without Aaron's connections, who knows you? Your work center auctions? Probably traded with sleeping. At this, parents came out hearing. Father stern closed door, you're not welcome, please leave. I won't. Vivian pushed open closing door, you can't stand me well. Evelyn that old woman can't keep man herself, trips behind. My mother stepped forward, eyes cold looking at her, a marriage interferer third party, dare yell here? Father on steps, majestically at Vivian, without Aaron, you don't even qualify to speak before Chin door. Vivian like tail-stepped cat, shrill rebutted, rich how? Rich miss how? Still can't keep man. She deliberately lowered collar, revealing ambiguous red marks, see? This Aaron left last night. He said likes me like this, much better than dead fish Evelyn. Vivian raised chin at me, smugly showing, Evelyn, see? Aaron long discarded Evelyn. He loves me now. Slap. A loud slap on Vivian's face. My mother withdrew hand, tone sharp, this slap teaches you shame. You woman rising by body, really think Aaron sincere to you? Vivian covered face, incredulous wide eyes, you dare hit me? Hit you how? Mother sneered, I warn you, dare appear before Evelyn again, I'll make you unable stay in this city. Don't forget, Chin family dealing with your kind, easy as pie. Vivian thoroughly angered by mother's words, she fiercely broke security's hold, pointing at mother shrill cursed, old undead. You think I fear Chin? I tell you. Slap. A crisp slap interrupted her clamor. I shook numb palm, coldly watching rapid palm print on her face. This slap teaches you respect elders. Vivian covered face, incredulous wide eyes, you dare hit me? Hit you is hit you, need pick day? I stepped forward, staring her down, now, immediately apologized to my mother. Why apologize? She hysterical screamed, you Chin bully with power. I backhanded another slap, harder, apologize. Vivian from unexpected two slaps spoke recklessly, Evelyn. You bitch. When I marry Aaron. Marry? Mother interrupted, tone contemptuous, you're kind, worthy enter Sioux door? Aaron just playing you. She turned to security, throw this shameless thing out. Never let her step here again. Security forward held Vivian, she struggled madly, let go. You wait. I'll definitely marry Aaron. Evelyn forever my defeated. Watching Vivian dragged away embarrassed, my held breath suddenly dispersed. Eyes black, I softly collapsed. Last heard, mother's panicked call, Evelyn. Waking again, disinfectant smell in nose. I opened eyes, saw parents' red eyes. Seeing me awake, mother immediately to Julian at bed end, Julian, quick call doctor. Doctor came soon, simple check after, asked parents outside. Ward door ajar, I heard doctor's lowered voice, Miss Evelyn this is acute attack from long-term emotional suppression. We did full check, diagnosed severe depression, with anxiety. Need immediate systematic treatment. Outside the door came my mother's stifled sobs, while my father's heavy sigh fell like a stone upon my heart. Staring blankly at the snow-white ceiling, I realized that all these years of being sensible and staying strong had long since corroded my body and soul into 1,000 holes. Julian gently pushed door in, seeing me awake silently handed warm water. "It's okay, we'll all accompany you." 3 days later, outside Ward rapid footsteps. Aaron's voice through door, "Evelyn. Let me in." Parents guarded beside, Julian Rose blocked him, "Mr. Aaron, not welcome here." "I heard Vivian caused trouble." Aaron's voice rare panic, "I went home find you, but guard no let in." "I used many connections to hear here, let me in. Just see her once." I heard Julian calmly reply, "Mr. Aaron, Evelyn needs rest, besides, you have no status or qualification to see her." "How no qualification?" Aaron suddenly raised volume, "I'm still her husband." Julian coldly interrupted, "Divorce certificate ink not dry, you forgot? When you abandoned wife for Vivian that mistress, why not think husband status?" Aaron like poked sore, loud rebut, I was momentarily confused. "Evelyn and I 5 years couple bond, just end like this?" "Yes, divorce agreement I made her sign, but all to appease Vivian. I never thought really divorce her." His voice choked, "That night I drank too much, entangled by Vivian no way. Evelyn knows me best, she knows those words drunk talk. Let her out," I explained face to face. Julian sneered, "Drank too much?" Aaron in business never drunk 1,000 cups. For a mistress force wife signed divorce, now became drunk talk? That's not real. Aaron excited interrupted, "Evelyn. Listen. Vivian kind woman how I take seriously? She's just toy, I casually coax. I really care only you." His voice suddenly softened, begging, "I know wrong, really no. These days can't eat sleep, mind full you. That divorce agreement tear it, as never happened, okay?" Julian's voice cold as ice, "Aaron forgot, divorce certificate already got. Need I remind what you said at civil affairs that day? Remarry when tired of playing? What you take Evelyn as?" Those were angry words. Aaron almost roared, "Julian, you don't understand. Evelyn and I grew up together, our bond not you can understand." His voice louder, with desperate persistence, "Evelyn said as kid to marry me. Her first stage performance I applauded below, we long family. Yes, I admit mistake but my feelings for Evelyn always real. This 7 years marriage, just because one error I'll deny?" Julian coldly interrupted, "Childhood sweetheart bond, is your capital to hurt her wantonly?" "No." Aaron's voice with cry, "Evelyn, remember? Your 18th birthday, at beach I swore lifetime good to you. Those words sincere, now too." He almost roared, "Between us so many memories, so many years bond, can't outweigh an irrelevant outsider?" Julian stepped forward, voice lower, but sharp as knife, "Precisely because you have so many years bond, your betrayal more unforgivable. I'm outsider now, doesn't mean future too. I still have chance, but you, moment signed divorce agreement, already forever out." Aaron's breathing suddenly rapid, red eyes glaring Julian. Suddenly, he fiercely punched, heavily hit Julian's face. Julian caught off guard, staggered back steps, corner mouth bled. "What are you?" Aaron roared, "Worthy to point here." At this, corridor end rapid footsteps. My parents came hearing, mother quickly ran support Julian. Father Arrow stepped forward, grabbed Aaron's wrist about to punch again. "Aaron." Father's voice unprecedented stern, "Look what you like now." Mother simply checked Julian's injury, turned cold to Aaron, "Cheen treated you well, this your repay?" Aaron panted roughly, tried escape father's hand, "Uncle Thomas, listen explain." "No need." Father interrupted, eyes full disappointment. "For your late parents' sake, we won't exterminate Sue. But from now, please don't appear before Evelyn again." Aaron like strength drained, dejectedly dropped arm. He looked at ward door, lips moved, ultimately said nothing, turned staggering left. After Aaron dejectedly left, ward brief silence. Mother gently closed door. "Can't wait anymore." Father's voice undoubtable firm, your mom and I discussed, must send you to Zurich Sanatorium. Mother held my hand, this time no matter what can't indulge you. Their best psychologist and sanatorium already contacted. I not yet spoke, Julian already picked phone, I book nearest flight. Mother slightly frowned, Julian, to trouble you. Should. Julian operating phone paused, Evelyn now needs care. Father deeply looked Julian, tone polite yet distant, Julian, we appreciate your intention. But Evelyn's treatment, we'll arrange special accompany. Julian looked up at father, gazes brief clash in air. He smiled explain, just Zurich has merger to discuss. Was going anyway, just a long way. Dad seeing, not good say more. 12 hours later, we on flight to Zurich. Mom carefully blanketed my knees, adjusted seat, sleep a bit, call you when arrive. Looking out rolling clouds, my consciousness chaotic, soon asleep. Plane landed Zurich, we checked into prearranged sanatorium. Parents postponed lab research 1 year. Every morning, mother punctually carried warm milk into my room, softly called me up. Father daily oversaw sanatorium, fearing any oversight. Julian focused on work, only evenings time to visit. Each time, brought various odd toys, said to relieve boredom. After half year in Zurich, my condition improved. I gradually came out from initial depression. Doctor said much better, soon can discharge. New Year Day, my Dr. Hoffman specially approved home one day. He escorted to door, with awkward Chinese slowly, Miss Evelyn, you're lucky, so many love you. Looking his sincere eyes, softly German replied, thank you, doctor. Hoffman gratified nodded, turned to waiting family, return before 5 p.m. tomorrow fine. Instructed parents many notes, then let us leave. Home, porch light warmly on. I wrapped thick blanket nestled sofa, mom close sat, holding remote. TV playing recent hot Korean drama. Evelyn quick look, this male lead jealous again. Mom pointed screen, laughed like girl. She stuffed chip in my mouth, herself crunching. Kitchen, dad tied mom's floral apron, fumbling with fish. Julian. How fish scales not clean? Dad fumbled said. Julian aproned poked head, uncle, give me fish. He took, neatly processed. Dad aside envious, you kid good, much better me. Thomas. Mom suddenly called, you tied my apron reverse. Dad looked down, laughed himself. Julian silently went, helped Dad retie apron strings. I couldn't help chuckle, Mom immediately hugged me, see, your dad life idiot. Dad laughed haha, today I show you mother-daughter my skill. Dinner, Dad proudly showed masterpiece, slightly burnt sweet sour ribs. He embarrassed scratched head, first time, no experience. Mom whispered ear, your dad secretly read recipes till midnight last night. I smiled leaned on Mom's shoulder. TV playing lively variety show. After dinner, Dad put down chopsticks, winked Julian, Julian, come study. 2 went upstairs one after. Mom pulled me to bedroom, serious, Evelyn, your dad talked Julian days ago. We know he's good to you, but marriage big. She held my hand, this time you must by our side. Study, Dad stared Julian, what you guarantee Evelyn's happiness? Uncle, Julian stood straight, I can sign prenup. If future wrong Evelyn, I leave with nothing. Dad interrupted, these I don't care, but after marriage must live home. Evelyn's illness not fully healed, need care. Julian straight, uncle, rest assured. I selected Zurich house, with garden, near sanatorium. No. Dad firm, live home. Live with us. Julian smiled, okay. Year later wedding eve, Mom arranging veil softly said, Julian this child, really attentive. She meant Julian this half-year daily picked me for checkup, even self-learned psych care. Wedding day, Dad at red carpet end repeatedly asked, really thought? Regret now still time. I nodded hard, he then red-eyed handed me to Julian. Exchanging rings, Julian's hand shook badly. MC teased groom too nervous, he seriously to Mike, I'm too happy. Below, Hoffman with stiff Chinese shouted, "Be happy." Throwing bouquet, I deliberately biased, bouquet steadily in Mom's arms. She held flower stunned, then laughed through tears. Dad below tightly hugged her shoulder. This moment, I had the world.